Well, it's been a long time since I posted something, and guess what? It was tourist season. So, because we get interrupted all the time by customers for a good reason, I didn't think it was worth doing any videos because I'd have to leave halfway through a video. Anyway, it was a reasonable tourist season, although not as usual because of COVID. But hey, we made enough to get through the winter. So hopefully everybody's doing the same, and it's just going to disappear as our one-time person in the United States hopefully says it will just disappear. Ha! Anyway, not soon enough. I'm in Nova Scotia. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Vaughan Smith. I am the owner of Westcote Bell Pottery since 1983. And I'm going to show you how to make some beer tankards. So before I start, there's a beautiful boat outside the window here, which I'm going to try and twist this device and show you, because it's an old ship. And let's see if I can get it so that you can see this. I'll lift it up a bit. I think you'll probably get a view of it from there. That's been there for about 3 weeks. So I think the guys write books or something, and he's a novelist. But anyway, let's bring you back, because you're here to watch me make pots, not look at ships, I suppose. And let's get the mic so it doesn't get twisted somehow. I think that will do it. I'm going to give you a really good view of the wheel rather than me. Probably going to get the camera all splashed maybe, but that looks like it's good. Hopefully you won't see the pot disappear out the top of the screen, but let's try one anyway. Alright, let's do this like you've never thrown a pot before. Clean your wheel head, but leave it a little moist. Get a nice rounded piece of clay. The rest of my clay isn't so rounded, but basically place it down firmly, knock it down hard, and then put your foot on the wheel foot pedal, and start it spinning, and get both hands wet. Put them together, but make the top one a little earlier, and press hard. And when you feel like it stops wobbling a little bit, let go slowly. Do the same again, push it down hard. I'm pushing in with the side hand, down with the top hand. This moves the clay around a little bit and makes it easier to work with. Up, press down, and then go for center, which means you're trying to stop it wobbling at all, and let go slowly. My elbows are leaning on my thigh on both sides of my body, so I've got nice and secure position, and I can put a lot of weight on the piece. This is a beer tankard, so I've got the width already established, which is around about, I would say, about 4 inches across, maybe 4.5 even. Press down and pull to the side towards your left hand. Let go slowly again. The wheel is still going pretty fast because the clay is thick at the moment, so I don't need to slow it down. The rule of thumb is if the pot wobbles, slow it down. Anyway, now I'm going to collar it a little bit, push in just a touch, because my base is established. I get rid of S-cracks by running my finger from the outer edge to the center in the opposite way that I have pulled it open. And that way you're evening out the stress in the bottom of the piece. Now, pulling it up, fingers on the outside will press harder than the fingers on the inside. And that way it goes narrower but gets taller. And let go slowly when you get to the top. I never go taller than my finger length on that first pull, because then I can reach all the way down to the bottom with my middle finger on the inside and do another pull, so my fingers on the inside are pressing back against my outside fingers, but my outside fingers have still got more pressure on than the inside fingers. So that way the piece stays narrow. Now I've slowed the wheel down to about middle speed. Let go slowly when you get to the rim, and then this, if you can do this, it actually compresses the rim down a little bit. And if it's a little bit off center, it sometimes knocks it, not really off center, but if it's a little higher on one side than the other, you can level it again. dribble water right on the rim so it goes inside and outside. Same again, now my hand's all the way inside the piece, and press with fingertips from the bottom and make sure you can get right to the top, so you're going to speed of the wheel and the rotation of your fingers is always a little bit higher as you go up the wall of the pot. And then on the rim, let go slowly. Now I like mine to be a little narrower than that, so I'm just going to push in a little bit there just to narrow it a bit. And then I do a specific foot using this wooden tool which digs under the piece, and my finger rides on the edge as well. So basically I'm pushing under with this tool and my finger's just about there so that I can stop it from getting too sharp a point. But that's an undercut there now, so when I don't need to trim that much. And then the other end of the tool, I put my finger down and actually put the tool above my finger to give that defined foot that's a traditional sort of tankard edge. There you go. And then dribble water and put your hand all the way in and use the metal rib to scrape the water off, but it also is forming a nice curve towards the top. And then dig the edge of that metal rib in at the top there, and then just right above that little mark that you made, put it just above, and you can press in again to give a nice defined lip on the piece for drinking out of. And this tool, now there's some people outside on the beach right outside my window. I could scare them by going yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. There you go. And now this is Freddie Moretti's tool I'm using. Just kind of compresses the rim a little bit. Freddie sent me this tool from Florida. Hope you're doing alright, Freddie. A little piece of clay slipped off of there, get that out. But that rounds off the rim a little bit. If you're using groggy, gritty clay, then it's a good idea to get your rim compressed a little bit. But this is B-Mix from Laguna Clay Company. It's my favorite clay body of all. And then get the water out. But it's a very smooth clay body, so I don't really need to compress the rim that much on these pieces. Alright, so that's a beer tankard. I'll do another one. My beer tankards are a little bigger than an English pint. Now, get it off by water all the way around. You can either pull through straight, or if you get confident enough, you can just let the wheel turn a little bit as you're pulling through. That one didn't release, so let's get some more water on that. It released, but it didn't slide. And the other way of pulling off is to kind of do this and just run the wire through, and then by now it should be released. I think the water, when it's really slippery, got lots of clay in it, doesn't release as easily. This water I haven't changed from the last time I was throwing. Alright, let's do another one. Round it off. There's a lump of clay staying on the wheel, so it lets the next one adhere, but there's no surface water there. Bang it down. And make sure it's really down by putting a lot of pressure on. Turn the wheel at full speed. Let go slowly as soon as it dries out. Move the clay around. Don't just sit there with the wheel spinning and the clay staying the same. Just really put pressure on left hand, right hand, and get that clay moving around. It can give you a little bit of feel for the clay then to see what kind of condition it's in. This is in great condition, this clay. Alright, hand is on the wheel on the left. These two fingers support. Middle finger and that finger go for the hole in the center. Press down, about a centimeter just under from the bottom. You pull to the side and let go slowly as soon as it dries out. Put some more water in. I didn't get to the edge there before it started drying out. Let go slowly. Now this is where I can equalize the compression so you don't get S cracks. You come back from the outer edge to the center. Outer edge, press down and come back to the center. The theory is that you open it up this way and you're stretching the clay that way with it rotating this direction, but by doing it there you're actually evening that compression out somehow. That's the theory, and I was told that by somebody 30 years ago or 40 years ago called Greg Allen, and it's always worked for me. So anyway, now make it a bit narrower, and this is where these two fingers will touch right at the bottom, and push your fingers in on the outside and put more pressure on the outside, but put a little pressure back from the inside, and it rises up. And let go slowly, and it's about medium speed now. When you dribble water, right at the rim so it goes to the inside and the outside. Fingers can still reach the bottom on the inside, so pressure on. And make sure every rotation you're a little bit higher so it stays wet. So time the rotations with your speed of rising through the wall. That way you never hit a dry spot. And let go slowly when you get to the top. Do that little compression to even the rim out. I'm going to go for a third pull because this feels like it's a big enough piece of clay to get taller. Ooh, there you go. Pressure in. See, because I'm putting more pressure on with the outside fingers, it stays narrow. And I've timed the speed so that it never dries out. And there you go. See, I've got that quite a bit higher. That tool again, I'll show you how I do it again. It's go underneath and your fingers just above, so it knocks the sharp point off. So you're going underneath, and then this finger just hits it right at the edge, so you never get a sharp spot building up. This is a tool that was basically, it's decades old, so it's worn out a little bit, and I kind of made it so it does exactly what I want. Now my fingers are going underneath that little rim, but my skin is catching the edge, so when I do this, it stays rounded on the outer edge, so it won't chip easily, but I get that nice groove in the bottom. That's a beer tankard, has lots of stability. Wet your hand because it's going back inside, dribble some water down, and use the metal rib to scrape the water off the outside, but pushing from the inside you get that little curve to give the piece a bit more, well, sort of nicer form, I guess. And then dig the edge in at the top, and always take a look at it. I thought so. I need to push out a bit more at the bottom. I like it to be a little wider at that bottom there, so you've got a nice curve, but it's going in towards the top. My handle gets joined where that little bump is there, and then you kind of right to the top edge. I'm going to get the moisture off this time before I do use that tool, because there was too much slip left on the surface. And then Freddy's tool here, it's nice, he put a little thumb, a little finger thing so he can drag it easily, and you just press down to round it off. Nice one, Freddy. Works great, better than my little do-it-yourself tool that I made here out of wood, but you can do that yourself, you know, make these out of wood. Anyway, get the moisture out. All the way up on the inside. This sponge on the stick has been used a lot, it's almost worn out. It still picks the water up really nicely. And then clean up. If you're leaving pieces on a bat, clean the bat up so that it looks nice when you finish throwing the piece. Alright. And if you want to give your piece a little extra kind of nice textural or like an organic kind of feel to it, you can do this with the rib. And give your piece a little bit of interest, and then just recenter the top part. There you go. That beer tankard now has character. Alright. Well, I can keep going forever, I guess, but I try to keep these down to 15 minutes if I can, although I can get long-winded a little bit. But it was a very foggy day today, and let's lift this up a bit. Oh, there we go. Very foggy day today, and but they're nice days too, you know, and the water and all the birds. So, and later in the winter, oh, I said the W word, I'm going to do some photography over there. So I'm going to try and show people how to photograph their work in the winter as well, for if you're doing shows and, you know, exhibitions, or if you're just doing the web as well. But advertising your work and marketing is a huge part of being a self-employed potter. All right, well, my name is Vaughan Smith. I'm in Nova Scotia on the South Shore, just south of Bridgewater. If you're ever in the area, we can have a cup of coffee together. All right, take care and stay safe.